Welcome to Cash Talk, the podcast where we delve into the depths of finance, business, and life itself. I'm your host, John Cachia, a multi-award-winning wealth advisor with a passion for empowering ambitious Australians to confidently achieve financial freedom. Hey everyone, before we get started, this is a quick reminder that everything in this podcast is of a general nature and nothing has been tailored to your personal circumstances. So please seek personal financial advice before acting on this information. And welcome back to Cash Talk. And today I'm joined once again by Ayten. Ayten, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. Silly season is fast upon us.
That's right.
What is it? It's probably about like 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
Left till the end of the year. And it feels like 2024 has gone insanely fast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but it feels like just New Year's last year was 2 seconds ago.
Yep.
What's going on? Is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's like as you get closer to the end, it goes a bit faster.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure everyone's feeling the same way. But today what we want to be speaking about is around spending behavior, especially around this time of the year. A lot of people are buying gifts for others. There's a lot of people where, we're in a spending phase. If it be, Black Friday sales, if it be Christmas, if it be just, normal gifts and whatnot. So, I know Ayten, we were just talking before we jumped online about like spending and behaviors and sales and stuff. And I know that there's certain things that, you're seeing as well. First and foremost, just like economically speaking, you're still seeing a lot of people in like shopping centers and stuff like that.
I was actually at a shopping centre over the weekend and there were heaps of people around. But also I saw heaps of sales as well. And with that comes, and I found it myself as well. So I'm going, and I know specifically what I want to buy, but I didn't have the kids with me, so I was just venturing off. But I came across sales where I saw 50% off, 60% off. And psychologically, I don't need anything. Like I was looking at a houseware. I don't need anything. But I was like, 50% off, that's a bargain. Maybe I do need this. So I'll try and justify it in my head. You got 50% off here. That's like usually $400. Now it's down to $200. Then you look at something else. That was $100. Now it's $50. What a bargain. I'll buy it because it's on sale. Next thing you know, you like $700, $800. You're just accumulating stuff because it's on sale. So that plays into the psychological side of things because whilst you don't need it, you're talking yourself into buying something because it is a bargain.
And at the end of the day, Ayten, everyone wants to take your money away from you. Yeah. And these companies are very, very well trained at trying to take your money away from you. So first, you just being aware that these people are trying to take your money away from you is really important. And I don't like going to shopping centers because there's a lot of impulse buying when you're there. It is those sales tactics that you are subliminal. And I want you to think about like simply like Macca's, add an extra 50 cents and get X. I know that's a sales technique. Why don't you get fries with that? We are just conditioned now to just have so many different sales techniques and marketing things. But, this is now also formed online. So, I joke around it with my wife and she's like, I got something 40% off. And I'm like, that's a technique because, that usually in most cases, there's always a sale. And you only need to just look at your emails. Like, do yourself a favor. And if it's, I don't know, let's say it's Iconic. Okay. Just go to Iconic in your emails if you haven't deleted them and see how many sales that Iconic has sent you.
Yeah.
So there's always a sale on. Now, people will say to me, oh, yeah, but John, that Nike shoe that I've gone, I didn't hit the sale and I lost it. Yeah, I get that. You're going to have some times where it is like that. But in most cases, there's always a sale on. And they're playing on your psychology for you to not go in there and buy actually what you wanted. If you're on, Iconic or ASOS or whatever you're on or going into a store, I went in there for shoelaces but ended up getting 3 pairs of shoes. It happens honestly. And, I have delved a lot into marketing and a lot into sales as well too. And 98% of it is exactly what you're talking about around psychology around that.
It's all about the bells and whistles, isn't it? It's a bit like going to the casino.
Yeah.
You're fixated on the lights and the end date. Often it's like, it's only this weekend. Next weekend you go, they've got a different sale. So it's all about luring you in.
Yeah.
And like you said, you've got to be aware of that.
And this is everything. Like, this is not just like this time. You got to think about like anything that's driven by high emotions as well. So like you think about a wedding, how many people that after the wedding you go and they're like, shouldn't spend that much money on that because we just thought we just have that and we just have that and we just have that and we just have that. And if you sadly, like even funerals are the same, you know, so anything that's like emotionally charged,
Yeah.
very susceptible to these marketing techniques, but also as well too, they've just become very good in the day-to-day, week by week kind of scenario, which has been a really game changer in regards to these companies being able to take money away from these people. And, you know, do I feel like bad for these companies? Well, in a way, like you just got to be aware they are a company. They want to make profits from you, but also be aware that it is your money and you've worked really hard for that. And one of the biggest things is trying to just convert, you know, what you're going to spend. If it be, say, $500, well, how long did it take for you to work and earn that $500? You know, and that sometimes gives people just the stop and go. And then the other one is around just leaving something in a cart. You know, how many times I just leave it in a cart, go to sleep, wake up the next day and go, yeah, no, great technique. I didn't need that. Because it's the needs and the wants that we're playing on. Ayten. You know, there's, you know, if you've got a set of underwear and you've got 5 different holes that are coming out of it, you probably need a new pair. Do you know what I mean? But if you're just going there to just get another black pair and you just bought one last week, do you really need those?
Yeah.
You know,
It's hard to stick to the game plan sometimes.
it is very, very hard.
Which leads us to, I guess, the next thing that we should be talking about is obviously the Christmas is approaching. We do need to buy presents and gifts. We have family get-togethers. What are some things you would suggest to kind of focus on perhaps not overspending, not impulse buying?
Like, if I'm going to be blatantly honest, I hate the whole association with buying gifts around Christmas. And people say, oh, you're the Grinch and this and the kids. And like, I totally get that. But we've just drowned these kids in a society of like, you get a gift, you get a gift, well, you get a gift. Like most parents that I know, if a kid wants something, there's not a delayed gratification. It's they get to the shops, they buy something. So then when you get to Christmas, it's just more of stuff. And then there's these toy rooms that are just absolutely filled with everything. But even us as individuals, we need to kind of role model that behavior. And so I would love to see a Christmas where it's just around loving, caring, you know, spending time with one another and actually, you know, participating in things like preparing for Christmas. Like I really love the just, you know, like European background, obviously just like that feast, you know, waking up in the morning, making the salads, making the meat, making whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's what Christmas is about.
Yeah.
We've just been so fixated on the presents and the toys. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm getting my boys some stuff for Christmas. But it's very hard for me to understand what they want. And what I mean by that is that what they want this week is different to what they want in 6 months' time. And that changes. And people are like, yeah, I get that. So the question was for me, I kind of deflect this to my wife, to be honest with you, Ayten. And I'm like, Burja, just like whatever it is for Christmas and you think that they like, get. Because she knows that if it was up to me, I would be like with the boys and just be like, nah, we're just not doing anything. We should be just celebrating like the family and 2024 and everything that comes what Christmas is really about.
Yeah, understand. And it's, you know, often difficult, like even for myself I mean, we don't celebrate Christmas, but often the kids, when we go to the shops, we're like, we're not buying anything. So everything that they see, they're always like, oh, let's save it for New Year's Eve, or can you get me this for birthdays and all that kind of stuff. So I think like one of the things that we do is limit the gifts.
I have to.
So, you know, you can't get everything for your kids. I mean, obviously we'd love to, but like you say, they've got so many toys. They're going to play with a toy for 5 minutes and then they'll like forget about it. But come New Year's, it'll be in the trash or something else will be in the trash. So limiting the toys, try and focus on the experiences. Like you mentioned, the family get-togethers, that's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember what they received in 2024 in 20 years' time. They're going to remember the family experiences. They're hanging out with their cousins, their friends, their family.
Like I want people to think that I'm definitely not the Grinch. Like I do love celebrating Christmas and I do want my kids to, you know, wake up on Christmas Day and unwrap something. I get that. However, I don't want them to be expecting something that is so extravagant that puts any family under financial stress. You know, I think Christmas and events need to be something totally different. And, you know, my birthday's coming up and they constantly ask me, Dad, what do you want? Dad, what do you want? Dad, what do you want? And And I tell them I want kisses and cuddles.
Yeah.
That's my thing, kisses and cuddles. And my dad used to kind of say something similar. He's like, it's just another day. I'm getting older. And I don't know, maybe it is because I'm getting older. I cherish that. That's probably one thing that I'm not going to be able to have every single day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to have those kisses and cuddles when I've got 35-year-old men. You know, I'll get it when I get it. But like, that's me, my version of going like, I want to cherish that moment.
Yeah.
I want to cherish that experience. And, you know, for the kid, it's very, very hard for them to understand that. But I remember once saying to Noah, my eldest, I said like, how can dad be a better dad? And he didn't say by like showering me with toys. He's like, I'd love for you to just play soccer with me more.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, this weekend I was at the backyard playing soccer with the boys and they absolutely loved it. Yeah. And they're going to remember that more than the toy that we get. So, you know, do I then maybe buy them something that's related to, say, soccer? This is where I'm getting at with my toy thinking.
Yeah.
That we can participate in that experience together.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that you guys can, you know, make memories together rather than here's a toy, go play with it. Because often, I mean, I know from my kids, I'm doing something, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking. Oh, can you just come play with me? I just want you to play with me. That's all they want. They just want your attention. They've got all the toys in the world, but they just want you to sit down and play with them. And these are the things that I think we kind of forget because often it's so easy because we want to do our thing as well. So it's easy to go, here you go, you play with this and I need to do this. Or I need to have my time. So it's easy just to shower them with gifts.
And I think that's also goes even beyond the kids. I think like we just, like even in relationships, we try to shower them, like shower the partner with gifts. Like sometimes like it's like, oh, you know, I haven't been so loving to you, so here's a bracelet or here's a whatever. Like if you boil it down to it, it's probably like you just want to spend more time with that partner and have, you know, just get a picnic rug and just sit in the backyard even if you have to and just spend time with one another.
Yep.
You know, my wife sometimes will say to me, she's like, John, you know, sometimes I just like, I know you're busy and whatnot, just to sit on the couch and watch a movie together. Like watching that movie with her would probably be more important than the bracelet. Like she'd like the bracelet, don't get me wrong, but like it's actually those moments that she wants. And coupled with like you take that even further, take it to your parents, take it to like as humans, we're yearning that emotion and that experience.
Yeah.
And yet we're just trying to fill those with material things.
Yeah.
You know, I bought a new set of shoes and they look amazing and I'm loving that and blah, blah, blah. That is playing on the endorphins, but it's temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we want to mold our life into something that's more fulfilling than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy now to get everything that we want. You know, you've got like buy now, pay laters, you've got your credit card, you just have everything. So once the shiny new thing that you bought kind of gets old, you're like, okay, well, I just replace it with something else.
Yeah, and also like you take the debt side of things as well too. You know, most people now just wait for their equity to grow on their home loan, redraw on their property, and then just continue to fund their life from their lifestyle. And you know, most people that I see that are in financial problems or are getting to financial problems is exactly that. You know, oh yeah, I don't have pay laters. No, I don't have da-da-da-da. But okay, cool. What was your mortgage 3 years ago? Oh, 600,000. What is it now? 700. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we are, I'm not saying that just gifts is that. I think that we have now become a society that you just don't wait for your birthday. You don't wait for Christmas. You just get what you want, which is dangerous because there's no instant gratification. There's all instant gratification, no delayed gratification. And then you're passing that on to your kids.
Correct.
So, you know, for the people that wait 12 months and then give their kids a gift for Christmas are probably doing much better in regards to delayed gratification. However, I think the kid is cherishing more those special moments of the family around with that present rather than the actual present itself. But the other one as well too, Ayten, that I wanted to kind of share is around, I've also seen a lot of people around this time, and especially right now I'm seeing it, where friendship groups and even siblings and families need to be very open in their communication about sharing of gifts. You know, I buy you a Christmas gift for $100. If you could only afford $20, you afford $20. Like, what I give you is not what I should expect from you back. And where I'm getting at is that I remember having a conversation with a client many, many years ago, and there was like a kid's birthday, and they'd spend $350 on the kid, and so 350. The next, like, and then like, let's say it's the friend's birthday, that person would send 350, and then the next one 350. Like, there's certain people in that group that couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
But yet they're like going back on their mortgages, taking off their offset accounts, taking off their credit cards to fund a society where we're all trying to live like this.
Correct.
So that's where I also see these gifting, and especially around Christmas time and whatnot, becoming an issue.
Yeah.
You know, we should give a gift if we can give a gift and want to give a gift. And a lot of people can't swallow that kind of, I can't give that gift.
Yeah.
And then it's the issue around the expectation of, oh, that person didn't give that gift. What's gifting about?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And it's important, I think, to have open discussion. So if you've got multiple people coming over for Christmas lunch or dinner or New Year's Eve, whatever it is, have a discussion. Okay, let's do something like a Secret Santa. So let's have a limit. You know, it'd be $20 or $50, whatever that everyone agrees to. That way, that also reduces the pressure off someone to buy 10 different gifts. They can focus on the one gift, and they can get something that's meaningful. Maybe they can make it. Maybe they can, go on Facebook Marketplace, whatever it is. But also, you're just reducing the pressure on everyone, and then going back to what you're saying, everyone kind of keeps within budget, because some people might want to spend $100 and some people can only spend $20. There's no pressure to do that, but also it's like keeping up with the Joneses. So you've got to keep up the status because you've got to look like you can afford it.
Correct. And it's very hard. Like, I'm not saying it's not hard. Like, this is a hard thing for you to say, like, no, I can't keep up with what is going on. However, we as a society need to change around the expectations around gifts. Mm-hmm. A gift is something that comes from the heart and something that you want to give, not an expectation.
Yeah.
And so, that's also taken me time, if I'm going to be honest. Like, if I gave a gift and someone didn't give me a gift, I'll be honest with you, I'd just be like, that's a bit. But as you get through life and as you experience, it's like you don't know what that person's going through. Yeah, I shouldn't expect from me to give you a gift that I should expect a gift in return.
Yep.
Yeah. And so a lot of families would be struggling through the Christmas period. A lot of, self-employed people who don't have leave, don't have things like that, I was speaking to a guy this morning and he's just like, I've just got an order out for some furniture and stuff like that. He goes, that'll get me probably about another 3 weeks and then I'll see how I go after that. So people are living, 1, 2, 3 weeks in advance. And, people don't talk about their finances. People don't, it's a taboo to talk about it, especially in families, which I find weird. It's like, so around this silly season, yes, I want it to be, loving, caring, celebratory, but celebrating and love and caring, it doesn't need to be associated with extravagant gifts. And if you want to do it, good on you. There are pitfalls, but I think experiences and coming from things that are actually what people want rather than these materialistic things.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be like you said about gift giving. It can be playing games, like having fun all together, doing something that's a little bit different to the norm. It's important, I think, to kind of step back and go, well, first of all, what are we celebrating? And second of all, we're celebrating together. So we can do that without having to have that added pressure of giving the gifts and spending the money.
Yeah, I think so. And I think for everyone, you've got to have a strategy. Yeah. And you've got to think about, like, for gifts, if it's something that you want to do, making sure that you've got a limit on the gifts that you give. And, I'd go through all the birthdays that you're going to pay for throughout that year, all the Christmas presents, the sporadical kind of weddings and engagements and stuff like that, and putting them all and creating an allocation to these things and trying to stick to that. Obviously there's going to be times when you're not going to be able to stick for that, but I think if you've got a guide in regards to how much you spend on these things, you can kind of limit yourself in regards to going over. And it's only when you don't understand how much you actually give away where the problems lie. And also understanding that that's a kind of financial strategy, but also the emotional strategy and the kind of, the community strategy as well too. Having open discussions with your friends and with your family around what's their expectations around gifts, and having these open communications. And you'll be probably quietly surprised that a lot of people, don't expect the gifts in regards to, from their friends and family. And, it might be something where you're giving it for the parents and the kids, and the parents end up saying, you know what, I've got everything I need. I don't want it. Let's just do like a buy one gift. Everyone chips in and buys one gift and we rotate it or whatever it's going to be. But having that kind of strategy as well too, because everyone loves their friends and family, and we don't want to see others go through financial hardship, but also the expectations as well that I was talking about before, which is, if I can give a gift for $500 and the other person can do $1,500, am I expected to do $1,500? No, and so having those understandings and those agreeing between everyone of the expectations is a very important strategy as well too. And this all boils down to communication, having a chat, talking to one another, and also understanding that, it's also in a time where, especially now, where people want to kind of be putting their feet up. It's like, the people that have been on diets their whole year and they're like, I'm just going to let go for a little bit. It also tends to happen when it comes to people's finances as well. But, you need to kind of push through that, because you'll come out in those, in the new year with the right kind of, I believe the right strategies in regards to this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, hopefully that prepares you for a great silly season. For those who are celebrating Christmas, have an amazing Christmas, but I will be on here as well too. But also just taking those tips away. They're going to be very, very useful to get you through and also be able to have a great time this silly season. Thanks, Ayten. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.